Hello, my name is Tessa Asquith-Lamb and I'm an artist. I work at the City Arts Centre and other venues, running workshops and also leading described tours for the visually impaired. In today's video, I'll be describing some highlights of the exhibition Inked Up, Printmaking in Scotland at the City Arts Centre. This exhibition highlights the scope and versatility of printmaking in its many forms and shows how Scottish artists use the many varied techniques over time to create vibrant and engaging works. The exhibition shows works by more than 30 artists, highlight from the City Arts Centre's permanent collection of fine art. There are key works from the history of Scottish printmaking here, alongside contemporary pieces made at Scotland's network of open access print studios. As an etcher myself, I feel part of this tradition and know just how varied a print can be. There's a printmaking technique to suit every artist, and techniques evolve over time as people experiment. A print can have the smooth colour fields of a screen print, the painterly sketched qualities of a lithograph, the crisp, strong lines of a woodcut, and detailed lines and soft aquatint tones of an etching. I will now describe 4 different prints from the exhibition and say a little about how they were made, as well as their mood, tone, and details. The first print I will describe is titled Rainy Night in Rome by Sir David Muir-Headbone. It measures 33 centimetres high by 26 centimetres wide, about the size of a sheet of A4 paper perhaps. It was made in 1913. This atmospheric portrait format, dry point, black and white etching shows a rainy evening by the church of San Girolamo de Croati in Rome. The top 2/3 of the image on the left are hatched with a dense pattern of black vertical lines, which create a convincing effect of falling rain. The top left-hand corner is almost completely black, and this surface gradually lightens as you move down the left side, with more pale spaces between the black lines. The church building occupies the right-hand side of the image. Black lines suggest height and texture on the pale walls. The roofline is curved and has an urn decorating its corner. Buttresses support the roof. 2 shuttered windows centre right are set high up in the walls. A single light source of a wall-mounted lamp is visible lower centre on the corner of the church. It illuminates scurrying figures below the church walls, and further into the distance on the left are further large buildings and figures. 2 carriages pulled by single horses are visible in the gloom. The one in the lower centre of the image has what looks like an umbrella over the driver. 2 passers-by have umbrellas. The most enigmatic figure is a person in a long cloak lower right, wearing a broad-brimmed hat under an umbrella, seeming mysterious and intriguing. The dark night and the rain make the scene so atmospheric and moody. Dry point etching works by pressing the etching needle into a copper or zinc plate and cutting the lines by hand pressure alone, rather than by using acids and a resist layer as in conventional etching. Scratching the needle by hand through the plate throws up little burrs of metal that catch and hold the ink as the artist wipes it across the surface and then wipes off the excess. When printed on a press, the soft, damp paper is pressed into this surface and the burred lines appear velvety and rich. You can only print so many though, as after a while the burrs flatten in the press and the effect is lost to some extent. Muir-Headbone was born in 1876 and died in 1953. He studied at Glasgow School of Art and became known for his works of industrial and architectural subjects and his work as a war artist in both World Wars. He is a key part of the Scottish etching revival, alongside artists such as William Strang, D.Y. Cameron and James McBay, sometimes called the Big Four. The next print I'm going to describe takes us back to Edinburgh. This work is titled Edinburgh Castle by Mabel Royds and dates from circa 1920. It measures 27 centimetres high by 19.5 centimetres wide and is a portrait format image. This colour woodblock image is slightly smaller than A4 and shows Edinburgh Castle from below. The top 2/3 of the image show the rock face on which the castle stands, and at the top left, the main block of the building perches, a vast structure peppered with a random arrangement of windows. A road curves round from lower right to centre and into the distance. A low wall on the right of the road mirrors the curving shape. A group of 3 little girls stand close together next to a twiggy small tree centre right. Part of a gate lodge type structure with an arch fills the lower right-hand side. A horse and cart with a flat open bed is making its way up the road lower left. The inky dark outlines of line vary from individual stones on the wall being picked out as blocks to broad strokes on the rock face to suggest its craggy surface. Grasses on the rock surface are marked in khaki green ink, and red touches appear on the cart and hat of one of the little girls. Mabel Royds was born in 1874 and died in 1941. She studied at the Slade School of Fine Art in London. Later she trained in Paris under the painter and printmaker Walter Sickert, before teaching at Havergal College in Toronto, Canada. She joined the staff of Edinburgh College of Art in 1908. The director, Frank Morley Fletcher, wanted to promote fine art printmaking in the curriculum and employed Mabel Royds alongside etcher Ernest Lumsden. Her own style is influenced by Japanese woodblock prints. In this method, inks are applied usually with a roller to carve wooden blocks. She preferred to use brushes, however, and sometimes cheap chopping boards as printing blocks instead of the more traditional pear wood. The next artwork I will describe is a lively, large-scale, portrait format woodblock print entitled Night Out by Willie Roger. It dates from 1991 and measures 58.2 centimetres high by 48.4 centimetres wide, about the size of a large cushion. 20 figures are depicted in the interior of a nightclub. The viewpoint is high, like we are looking from a balcony. The main parts of the design are printed in a broad, angular black lines on a pinkish base. Other colours added in certain places include a strong red layer, suggesting velvet curtains to the top and sides, and below the tables in the upper section, suggesting a carpet under the tables. White ink picks out details in the aprons of waitresses and the discs of tablecloths, and blue is used on the dress of a dancing figure centre left. 4 round tables fill the upper half of the image. Seated at these are figures in evening dress, smiling, raising glasses in toasts, or watching the dancers. The men wear evening dress suits and the women dark evening dresses. The white tabletops are scattered with glasses of drinks, shot glasses, wine glasses, whiskey tumblers, and a jug. In the middle of the table stands a short man in black evening dress with a bow tie, his arms out in welcome, as if presenting the scene. He seems to be the maitre d'. Below him, a waitress with her hair in a high bun is bringing a tray of drinks to the 3 people at the lower table on the left. The dance floor in the lower third of the image has 2 couples dancing in the middle, tall, elegant figures doing what looks like the tango on the left. The female partner wears a blue dress with outstretched leg in red tights. The couple to the right dance close together, the man smiling at his partner in her short dress with long red legs and heels. 2 smaller figures of waitresses fill the corners. They are working very hard, carrying big round trays of glasses and cocktail shakers. The whole scene feels quite balanced, with the 4 tables, the 2 couples below, and the staff filling in the gaps in the composition. The woodblock process involves cutting into a wooden block and inking the design with a roller and inks. The paper is then placed on top of the inked block and put under a press to create each layer of colour. Willie Roger was born in 1930 and died in 2018. He was born in Kirkintilloch and studied at Glasgow School of Art between 1948 and 1952. He then taught at Lenzie Academy and Clydebank High School whilst working on his own practice, particularly woodcuts and lino cut. He became the first ever artist to be elected to the Royal Scottish Academy as an associate printmaker, which allowed progression to the rank of full academician, a title not allowed previously. He was then promoted to academician status in 2005. His style was influenced by German expressionism artists like Ernst Ludwig Kirchner and Emil Nold. The final artwork I will describe is a non-figurative work, landscape in format and measuring 58 centimetres high by 76 centimetres wide. It is entitled Another Time and is by Wilhelmina Barnes-Graham and dates from 1999. This is a predominantly red screen print work created using 14 colours, very intense in pigmentation and depth of colour. The colour goes all the way to the wavy decal edges of the paper, a technique called bleed. Screen prints are created by making a stencil on a stretched silk screen in a frame and passing ink through this using a long squeegee. Layers and different colours and stencils are combined to create complex effects. Each layer must be registered to ensure they line up. From top left, an orange brushstroke-like form appears and reaches into a red field of colour to almost halfway down the page. This is the only element in the image that touches the edge of the paper. Moving to the right, a paler red large circle about the size of a dinner plate is placed centrally, slightly to left of centre. This is crossed horizontally on its right side by a broad orange stroke, which reminds me of the way the arm of a record player passes across the record on a deck. Under the orange arm are two thinner pink strokes passing from right to left diagonally. To the right are two thicker strokes of similar width, one black, one pink, almost sugar pink. The black stroke leans in diagonally towards the left, and the pink crosses it, leaning it to the right, like a stepladder. As the pink crosses the black, the rough textures of the stroke are more visible and appear lilac in tone. The black stroke is key to this image, a stop, heavy and strong, that stops the movement of the lively pink, yellow and orange forms. Abstract pieces, like this work, are contemplative balances of forms and colour, each element carefully placed partly by intuition and partly by years of practice. Wilhelmina Barnes-Graham was born in 1912 and died in 2004. She used various printmaking techniques in her life, the earliest relating to her visits to glaciers in the Swiss Alps in 1948. When she was in her 80s, in the 1990s, she worked on a series of screen prints and established a long-term collaborative partnership with Carol Robertson of Graal Press in Midlothian. She produced a large collection of screen prints between 1998 and 2003, and this print is one of the earliest examples from this partnership. So, in conclusion, printmaking allows multiples to be made of an image, and therefore an artist can sell the same piece many times while still delivering a handmade artwork. Most are created as limited editions, and they are also traditionally more affordable than paintings. Printmaking allows an artist in many cases to experiment with the colour and tone of an image, trying different effects. The varied techniques of printmaking create opportunities to revel in the crispness of a line image, in its complexity and intricacy, or to express oneself in flat or textural coloured layers and combinations of all these. Some artists combine techniques to take advantage of each method's strengths. In this short video, I have described some of these delightful variations of printmaking. From the atmospheric inky black lines of that etching by Muirhead Bone on that rainy night in Rome, through the familiar and impressive form of Edinburgh Castle in soft woodblock layers in the Mabel Royds image, I also described the wit and strong composition of Willie Rogers' Night Out nightclub image with its echoes of German expressionism. And then we have also experienced the power of colour and balance in the Wilhelmina Barnes-Graham image. Scotland has a rich history of printmaking, and it's alive and well. And these images give a taste of some key works from the exhibition that celebrates its strength.